Bo, ba, ba,
Bum,
bum.
Hey, everybody! Hi, welcome to Coffee and Pie. Sorry, we're laughing at the levels.
The levels are so funny.
Nothing but peaks
so
the entire
bad.
time.
Cool. Everyone's gonna really appreciate it.
It's gonna be like bum bum bum.
Hey, welcome to a new episode of Coffee and Pie. We are gonna introduce ourselves because that's the thing that we do.
Yeah.
And as we introduce ourselves, you're gonna say a little bit about yourself. It's been like 3 months since we've done anything. So what's new in your life?
All right. I'm first, because that's the rule. Shut up.
Yeah.
I'm Sean. I'm having a cherry pie with a quick trip coffee and this coffee that Brad made us.
We have varieties of coffee.
Yeah.
Because we also have chocolate covered espresso beans.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
Welcome to coffee and pie.
And a donut.
And a donut that's cut into 4 pieces.
We didn't know if we were gonna get pie. Fortunately, Sean stopped off and got us some Hostess fruit pies. But initially, our pie was going to be a donut that Brad cut into 4 pieces.
I was being clever.
Which is sitting here on the table next to Africa Screams. Just kind of staring at us.
I'm gonna eat it.
We're gonna eat it.
But I've been working a lot. I've been hanging out with my girlfriend. Oh, I went to my girlfriend's family's place for Christmas, and I have their family's blessing for us to get an apartment together. So we're gonna be moving to an apartment in the summer. And that's new with me.
Oh my god. What a shit show right off the bat. We'll go down the line.
All right. Hey, it's Brad here. So, holy crap, what's new in my life? So much is new in my life right now. My basement flooded, so we're not recording video down here because everything's covered in shit.
Literally.
But the good news is I started working from home, and that's really cool. So I get to spend more time with my wife, and that's also really cool. I've been cooking a lot. I got an Instagram, which is new for me and makes me feel like one of them young hip people. The first edition of my book got printed, which I may have talked about before, but I'm still working on the second edition, which should be out hopefully soon. And the show that I was doing in September, we got renewed, so we're going to be doing that again next year for the Kansas City Renaissance Festival. And last but not least, my wife and I started working on this business plan, and we just had a meeting with a local small business incubator, and it seemed to go pretty decently. I've got my fingers crossed. We'll actually find out in a couple of days where that's headed. But we're pretty excited about it. I think we're going to move forward with that kind of in the spring.
Nice.
Might hear more on that.
Nice. Hey, I'm DeMarcus.
Hi, DeMarcus.
I like long walks on the beach. I was in like 2 shows. I was in Little Shop of Horrors.
Which
like
was
November.
fantastic, by the way.
It was fantastic, and pretty much the reason we haven't done anything.
Yeah, I'm sorry. And then I was in a show right after that called Expecting Carol. I expected.
No, I was trying to think of the title in my head. I was like, oh yeah, he's in that other show, Chasing Dorothy or something.
Chasing Amy.
Chasing Dorothy.
Chasing Dorothy. No, it's Expecting Carol.
I've started this thing where I'm gonna try to look up a word a day, like word a week, and like maybe just write like 8 bars. I did it like last week, and I was supposed to do one this week, but I wrote it, but I wasn't able to put it up. And then hopefully I can get some more music out this year. So yeah.
By the way, the music he already has out is Death Slinger, the album by Defect, which you can get on iTunes, right?
Yeah, you can get on iTunes, SoundCloud.
That's the way you can pay money for it.
Yeah, and Amazon.
Yep, it's good.
Yeah,
We're
we're all on it.
these three are on it.
There's a track we are on.
Yeah.
I posted it on this channel.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, you've heard it then.
You've
Buy
probably
it
heard
anyway.
but you should buy the whole album
Yeah.
because DeMarcus did it.
I forgot to say the name of my book.
Oh yeah, you should do that.
The name of my book is Gods of the Grey. It's a tabletop role-playing game.
Yeah.
Cool. Our names are pretty much all in that too.
Right.
They are?
Yeah, because we play tested. Hey everybody, I am your host, Alan.
Hostess with the most.
I am your mostess.
He did that.
I am your mostess, and we have hostess.
Ah.
Oh.
And those, yeah.
Yup.
What's new with me? I spent way too fucking much money on Christmas, and I'm broke now. So, but paychecks keep coming.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's what's up with me. And what's up with today's topic?
What's up with today's topic?
Thank you, Jerry Seinfeld.
You're welcome.
Thanks for stopping by.
Okay, I'm gonna leave now. Bye.
Look at him walking away.
What the hell just happened?
Was that Jerry Seinfeld? That's crazy.
Where did Christopher
Wow.
come from?
I love you in that.
Welcome to Impressions White People Do.
In that movie.
And Sean. I'm glad how you considered me a white person for that
You're
segment.
pretty white.
Cool.
I can't do my impression because
It's
I'm sorry.
controversial.
I'm just gonna point out to everybody listening at home that Sean, who just got a little upset with me for calling him white, is wearing a T-shirt featuring the entire cast of Friends.
You want to hear something sad?
Yeah.
I was thinking about what to wear today, and it was either going to be this or a Boy Meets World shirt.
Corey and I were just talking about Friends the other day, and she was like, I can't even watch it anymore because it's pretty much just like, what white person problem am I going to have today? What privileged upper-class New York white person problem am I going to tackle?
Oh no, I threw a red sock in my whites. Oh no.
My scone was not scone enough.
I got stung by it. My scone was wet.
Scone was not scone enough.
What?
It's good to know what you think of us.
Vegetables.
The topic for today is movies.
Someone put too much salt on this food.
The scone is too vegetable. What?
Oh. So the topic for today is movies.
Yep.
So what are we going to do first? We want to talk about Star Wars?
We could talk about Star Wars, yeah. I'm cool with it.
I had a bit in mind to lead up to that, but we're just not
Oh,
going
okay.
to do it.
Oh, we can still do it. Pretend we didn't. We still do it and just pretend.
All right, forget what I said earlier. Hey, guys, you know what we should talk about now? What's on everyone's mind?
Yeah. Well,
Star of stage and screen, Laurence Olivier.
yeah. I mean, I liked when he did blackface at one time.
Which time was that?
I mean, all the times, right? That's all it does, right?
All Laurence Olivier is known for.
It's just blackface.
Blackface. His convincing.
Did Laurence Olivier ever do blackface?
Yeah, he did it in Othello, right?
Oh yeah, he did Othello.
Yeah.
No.
Sorry, I doubted you.
Some
Everyone, welcome Siri to the podcast now.
Some people say, because he was Lawrence of Arabia, right?
Yeah.
Some people call that
Lawrence Olivier,
blackface or brownface because he was like playing an Arab. When he was, like super
Like he was-
white.
An Arab guy named Lawrence.
Lawrence Olivier of Arabia.
So our coffee's cold as shit.
Oh, it's cool.
We just
I like
filmed that half-hour thing and
I like cold
let
coffee
all of
anyway.
our coffee.
Thank God I went to Quick Trip.
Damn it. I can't get you.
You can get it.
You can do it, buddy.
EB and
You can do
Ite.
it. Isn't it cool that you did that by yourself just now?
Yay! That was like some force powers or something. Which reminds me.
Which reminds me of
That.
one thing we needed to talk about today.
Yeah.
The force of nature, who is Danny Kaye.
Oh my God, Danny Kaye. Danny Kaye, who I'm not Googling.
He's the White Christmas? Yeah, okay. I was gonna say, like, this year was the first year I watched White Christmas.
Oh, nice.
Me
Yeah,
too.
never. Awesome. High five. Yeah, because I was
Great-
really
great movie.
my dad introduced my sister and me to Singing in the Rain when we were growing up, and my girlfriend Allie introduced me to White Christmas, saying that it's
Boy,
like
that
Singing in the
Dan-
Rain but with Christmas.
Boy, that Danny
Yeah.
Kaye, born David Daniel Kaminsky, he sure was an American actor, singer, dancer, comedian, and musician. You know, I hear his performances featured physical comedy, idiosyncratic pantomimes, and rapid-fire novelty songs.
So, Alan, I'm a huge fan of Danny Kaye, but I prefer Donald O'Connor. What do you think?
I think. You know what I think about that? I think it's okay to be a fan of Donald O'Connor, born August 28, 1925, who was an American dancer, singer, and actor. He came to fame in a series of movies in which he co-starred alternately with Gloria Jean, Peggy Ryan, and Francis the Talking Mule.
While Donald
But
O'Connor...
he is best known
Yes.
for his role as Gene Kelly's friend and colleague Cosmo Brown in
Singing in the Rain, yeah.
Donald O'Connor...
That was my jam.
Donald O'Connor was definitely probably one of the funniest of the golden era of Hollywood.
Yeah.
But what about Fred Astaire? I think he... what do you think about Fred Astaire?
Well, let me tell you something about Fred Astaire. He was a great Bring it back up. I'm sorry. What was I talking about? Fred Astaire? Shut up. Not the talk page.
Siri, you're fired.
Oh, shit. Oh, man.
Who the fuck is Fred Azrael?
Oh, this is fucking great. Listeners, beware.
Well, you have to respect Fred Astaire because of his, stage and subsequent film and television career, which spanned a total of 76 years, during which he made 31 musical films and several award-winning television specials and issued numerous recordings.
Yes, Fred Astaire was actually well known as a Hollywood partner of Ginger Rogers. Now she was truly a Hollywood treasure, Ginger Rogers.
She sure was.
Now,
It's a shame she died on April 25th, 1995. At the age of 85 in Rancho Mirage, California, United States. Buried at Oakwood Memorial Park Cemetery in Chatsworth, California.
oh, that's true. It is a shame.
Are we done with this?
I'm
bit
going to
yet?
slap you, Brad, if you give us another name.
That was a great unplanned bit, everyone.
There was. It was hilarious.
I need to eat my pie.
Yeah, you do.
What we really need to talk about is that war everyone's talking about.
Yeah.
The Franco-American War.
Oh yeah, yeah. Franco-American War.
You know,
That's
that's the one that's about like SpaghettiOs, right?
I mean, I think it's like Dave Franco and James Franco just slapping each other, right? I mean,
No, that's called The Disaster Artist. It's gonna be a movie soon.
No. Like famous wars. Like I mean, we obviously got to talk about the most famous. Everybody's talking about it right now. Right?
It was. Well, I'm sorry. I thought we were still talking about the Franco-American War. I could talk for days about the Franco-American.
Oh yeah, I mean,
It was fought mostly at sea.
right. I
Yeah.
mean,
Yeah.
with SpaghettiOs, just like throwing SpaghettiOs at each other's head.
You didn't think you'd get educated today, did you, Coffee and Pie
Right.
audience?
Yeah.
You thought you were looking for some lowbrow, and they're giving you some.
Dick.
The highest of brows.
The biggest of dicks.
You can take the lowbrow comedy out of the dicks, but you can't take the dicks out of us.
Oh shit! It's been a while, guys.
I know.
we are on it.
What are we talking about? Oh yeah, famine.
Say famine?
It's a Ricky Gervais bit.
Donald O'Connor.
Y'all know me. Wars.
Okay. Star Wars. Mm-hmm. We're here. We're here now. Star Wars.
Okay. Star Wars
What did everyone think?
Loved it.
I really enjoyed it.
was fucking amazing.
And I really dug it. I've seen it 3 times now.
I've seen it
Let
twice.
me ask you a question, because I've had friends who have seen it multiple times, and they said that something happens after you see it multiple times. So, obviously, you might want to change now if you.
Oh, yeah,
they're
spoilers.
Spoiler
You know,
alert.
they're upcoming, and
In fact, we'll give you
plentiful.
like a 5-second pause just so you can,
Yeah.
go away somewhere.
This is
All right. So here we go.
All right, so we back.
okay. So, what I noticed the first time I watched it was there were some not plot holes per se, just some things that didn't seem very clear, or things that were at any other movie without years and years of being ingrained in my childhood. I probably wouldn't have overlooked it as much as I did. I had some friends who went back and saw it, and they said the second time those things were more obvious, the third time they were even more obvious, to the point that the more times that you watched it, it started to become frustrating that there were these little idiosyncrasies within the plot, so to speak.
Yeah.
So did you experience any of that yourself?
Not really. I kind of just went along for the ride again.
Yeah.
I'm loving the memes though.
Yes.
Traitor.
Traitor,
is my
yeah.
favorite.
Oh my
ever.
gosh.
Traitor. Yeah, no, I've seen it twice, and I didn't.
It's led to the dumbest thing I've ever found. Hilarious.
That is
The
hilarious.
video I showed
Yeah.
you.
Oh yeah.
We'll probably post it on the
Yeah.
link to something on it.
If
so.
I remember to, there's been a bunch of times where I said, "Oh, I'll post a link to this,"
And you
just
haven't.
totally did.
Yeah.
It's all right. We'll remind him. But no, I saw it twice, and like, I actually kind of felt like I got like I felt like I after talking to him, after talking to Alan, some things got more clear to me. Because I was kind of, like I said, obviously spoilers. I was kind of trying to see it. I thought like Rey was like Luke's daughter, and I was like, okay, yeah. And then Alan like pointed out, he was like, yeah, no. I was like, he was waiting. She's been waiting for this person, and she was old enough to actually know who her parents were, and so I was like,
That doesn't necessarily mean that she's not going to be Luke's daughter, because there is no explanation in any media as to how she's related to anyone, if at all. However, I tend to agree with Alan on this one.
Yeah.
There is a prevailing theory now that the more I hear about it, the more I'm like, it would be disappointing but understandable that she's actually a Kenobi.
Oh,
and
shit.
that she is possibly the child of Obi-Wan's daughter and Luke. Which would be interesting.
Yeah. Well, my question is, like, because you don't necessarily have to be related to someone to actually get the Force, right? Like, I mean...
No, absolutely not.
Right? I mean, because, like, there was a shit ton of people...
Yeah, like, how did Anakin get the Force at first?
Yeah, I mean, he was just born from...
He was Jesus born.
Yeah.
And neither of Hermione's parents were Force users, so...
if you will say they were, if you will say they were muggles. Yeah. So I mean, like, I feel like I don't know. I feel like she just was new birth from the Force, if that makes.
I know
sense.
there are a lot of
She had a high midichlorian count.
God damn.
so high just off the charts.
We don't say that word here.
What, charts?
Yes.
Yes. Never say charts around me.
Sounds too much like chard, and that shit's disgusting.
No, the M word is a bad word here.
Yeah.
I agree.
MIDI. Use Wave.
Yep.
Use MP3.
I'm using Wave and MP3 right now. Actually, I'm using an MX5 right now, but I'll convert it to either an MP3 or Wave.
So, a lot of people were complaining. They called them plot holes. They saw these little weirdnesses within the plot of the film, and I think that would actually be an interesting concept to talk about because,
Okay.
What?
Like, what do they bring up?
well, one of them was how did Rey so quickly learn the Force when it took everyone else in the series much longer.
That's kind of been a recurring theme of Star Wars, though.
True.
Luke. They had the whole like, oh, too old thing, but he picked it up pretty quick.
Yeah.
So how old was he when the first movie came out? Like, he was 26 or something like that?
Luke.
Yeah.
I think he was just
18.
Was he 18?
19. Yeah.
Oh, no, okay, what? He was 18, but Mark Hamill was 26 when he played him, or something like that.
But he didn't. He trained with Obi-Wan on the Falcon for like a day or so. You know, like a very short period of time to be able to sense the Force. But then he wasn't able to really use Force powers until after he trained with Yoda, and that was a lot more ambiguous.
He did.
Well, he pulled his lightsaber.
He did blow up the Death Star, turning off his targeting computer.
Yeah, but I always felt like that was more of sensing, because he had that natural. He only talked about it, but he talked about how he got into one of his fighters and was shooting. What were they called?
Womp rats.
Swamp rats.
Yeah, which is not as impressive if you Google how big a womp rat is.
Well, true.
They're like the size of a horse, I think.
Shit.
Anakin,
Rat's the size of a horse.
Anakin did the same
Holy
thing
crap.
where he kind of naturally was able to fly the pod racer.
Yeah.
Which required a lot of skill. And Luke, I think, more naturally took to piloting. And I think that was more of a being able to sense the Force, being able to... It wasn't really like Force tricks. He was able to do the Force tricks after he studied with Yoda.
Maybe part of the Force is that you gravitate naturally to certain things.
Sure.
Yeah. I mean,
Actually, I had a theory as to why Rey was able to so quickly learn the abilities that she learned.
Yeah.
Kylo is shown as probing her mind, and she resists it, which I think resisting a mind probe, that's another one of those passive things that you might not need to train as much. It might come naturally to you. And when she resists it, she is able to see into his mind. And a few of the people I've talked to, we've kind of concluded that what could have happened is that she was able to learn the Force from him by reversing his mind probe. And so that's why she was able to instantly turn around and know how to do a Jedi mind trick. Something she'd probably never even heard of before was she might have seen it in the recesses of his mind.
There's a line in that movie. I was talking to your wife about it a lot, actually.
Shut up. My.
I didn't think much of it the first time I saw the movie, because it does kind of seem like a throwaway line. But the second and third time, I was like, "What did he mean by that?" When he's doing the Mind Probe tour, like at 1st, and he says, "Don't be afraid, I feel it too."
What? Don't be afraid of it too.
I didn't catch that.
Yeah.
Of course, I need to go and see it again.
I've only
because
seen
I
it
was-
once, so
I'm the same. I've only seen it the one time, and I missed apparently a lot.
Yeah, yeah. Me and Corey
too.
threw out like 8 theories on what he might have meant by that, but it kind of doesn't seem like a very unimportant line.
Yeah.
So what do you mean? Like he can? It almost
Like
hurts him.
my best. That's not what I'm. My best guess is he's afraid of his own power.
Which is possible. I know that apparently, and now I'm hoping sales go up after I say this with our 30 listeners. Apparently, the novelization answers a lot of the questions that the movie doesn't.
I read one thing about that, and it makes me want to pick up the. There's a novel that's before the movie.
Oh, interesting.
About it doesn't reveal too much about Rey's origin, but it's a lot about her life on Jakku, and it's about Poe becoming an ace pilot. Finn's is the most interesting though.
Oh yeah.
Because he was in a squad where the squad he trained with, he was made their leader, but he was the only one not given a nickname.
Oh.
And one of the members of the squad, they called like Trips, I think, who was like the most accident prone, and that's apparently the one who dies at the beginning of the movie. And like his blood gets on his helmet.
Oh, yeah.
And
tripped.
The theory that comes from this is one of the other 2 guys in the squad is the guy who shouts "traitor" and has the nightstick.
That
Interesting.
is from,
the
yeah.
giant tonfa.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One of the things apparently that's answered in the novel that I thought was really interesting when I read it was in the movie it's extremely ambiguous as to whether or not the people who left Rey on Jakku ever intended to come back for her. And that actually they almost turned it into a plot point because you don't know if she was left there intentionally and well, I mean it was obvious she was left there intentionally, but you don't know if the intentions of the person who left her there was to come back or not. Yeah. Apparently in the novel, when she picks up the lightsaber and has her visions, she hears the voice of the person who left her on Jakku saying, "It's okay, sweetheart. I'm coming back," something like that. So apparently their intent was to come back and they were never able to.
Anyone else hear about the all the hidden stuff in, like when she was having those visions and the lightsaber was calling to her? Apparently, like hidden in the audio is like Yoda's voice.
Oh yeah, like Yoda and like Alec Guinness
and Alec Guinness and Ewan McGregor as Obi-Wan.
I knew they called Ewan McGregor in for one day to do the lightsaber voice, which is why a lot of people are saying, because I didn't know about Yoda's voice. I knew Alec Guinness. They used Alec Guinness and Ewan McGregor, which is why a lot of people are saying that Rey might be a Kenobi, is because she's hearing. Well, and that was the other thing was. In the novel, as I said, when she touches the lightsaber, she hears the voice of the person who left her there, and it might be that she's.
I'm gonna say, Obi-Wan spent a lot of lonely time on Tatooine.
Well, and even though I guess it is. Clone Wars is technically canon still, right? They did say that.
I think so.
There was
With the show.
Yeah,
I'm sorry. I thought I was going to Attack of the Clones.
Not Attack of the
Never mind.
Clones.
That's the second.
the animated.
Yeah.
Apparently, see, I never saw it, but I was told that Obi-Wan had a tryst with someone in that it might not have ever come to fruition. But the thing is, after the fall of, what was it? The fall of the Republic. But what the end of the events of Episode 3. The Jedi Order, or the Jedi Council, excuse me, didn't exist anymore, so their arbitrary rules of no relationships also would not exist anymore.
Yeah.
So that might be the opportunity for Obi-Wan to decide, well, I can indulge this because there aren't rules against it.
Yeah. But wouldn't she be older? Like,
Not if she was a granddaughter, like we're suggesting.
How old
you're-
is she in the movie, though? Like,
I mean, I'd say she's like in the movie. She's probably like 18.
18?
19, yeah. Like she can't be. Yeah, she can't be an old maid.
I'm just saying, there were some shots where she looked very, very young. Like there were some angles where it's like, oh, are you 15 or like 16? Like,
Yeah, I think
you're
I'd
like a
say
baby.
at least 18 in the movie. Okay, if she's a granddaughter, that'll make sense.
Yeah.
But then her parents.
Oh, one of the other things I remember reading. See, in this, I want to go and get the book because all I've read is excerpts from the book instead of the actual book itself. But one of the things that they for some reason didn't do in the movie, they did it differently in the movie than they did in the book. But apparently, Kylo, and this is a huge spoiler, huge. So if you haven't left, leave now.
We'll give you 5 seconds.
When Kylo kills Han,
Solo.
it's apparently you're supposed to infer that Snoke convinced him that if he killed his father, he would be released from all this pain that he was feeling and everything, and that he would become stronger.
Yes.
It further establishes that in the book, but apparently in the book, after he tries to kill, or after he successfully kills Han, he realizes in an instant that his pain is not gone and is instantly remorseful and drops to a knee to show it. So he is supposed to be more expressive of like knowing right away that he fucked up. So this is an interesting character and an interesting arc because we have more of that gray morality that I'm so attracted to personally in stories, where this guy was told a certain thing a certain way, and it's really just him acting on the ignorance versus having any malicious intent.
Yeah. I like that. So we gotta talk about Finn. Gotta talk about.
That's a good point. By the way, my girlfriend's on the side here, and she's just hanging out. Hi. But she just sent me a note. How do you guys feel about the theory that Finn might be a Calrissian?
Oh shit, Orlando.
Yeah.
Calrissian.
Like, you know, when...
I kind of don't want this movie to turn into whose
Yeah.
kids are these?
Yeah.
Agreed.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know.
I think Finn is. I mean, there's almost. Well, there's about as much of a possibility of Rey being like a Kenobi and
There's
Finn,
also the-
Finn being a Calrissian.
There's also the theory that Rey's also a Solo. Like, the Kylo Ren Rey twin thing.
Yeah, Ben Solo, who we're supposed to assume obviously is named after Ben Kenobi.
Yeah.
Is according to Abrams a parallel of what is it, Jason, the young Jedi Jason.
Jason Derulo.
I don't know about you, but Jason Derulo sounds like a Star Wars name.
The Young Jedi series, the Jason and Jaina. Is it Jason? Jason.
Oh, fuck! I know what you're talking about.
Because it was Han and Leia's kids that they made a series on that were novels that have just recently, when Disney got Star Wars and said they were working on 7 a year or so ago, they just released this press statement saying nothing is canon except the movies and the Clone Wars TV show.
Okay.
So all these novels, years and years and years of awesome novels, are apparently not canon anymore. But one of those series followed their 3 children, which were twins, a boy and a girl, that I think were named Jason and Jaina, and then their, I believe, younger sibling, which was named after Anakin.
So Anakin Solo.
Anakin Solo. And apparently, according to Abrams, Kylo Ren, Ben, is supposed to be a parallel of, I think it's Jason, And
It is. I looked it up.
which is why for the first time I watched the movie, I thought, oh my god, Rey has to be Jaina. It's Jason and Jaina. Like, Rey has to be the Solo's other kid. However, there's way too much that makes that not make sense.
Yeah.
Like, Han and Leia both have the resources and capabilities of going back to Jakku and finding her. They both, I mean, with as much as they've been kind of looking for Ben and looking to keep him safe, they wouldn't do that with
just one
of their two kids.
Just don't just be a shitty parent to one. And yeah. I'm with you.
Also, in the dialogue between Leia and I think Finn, they refer to Rey as the girl.
Who's the girl?
Yeah. So it's like, I there's just too much that kind of disproves that.
Yeah. But man, with Finn, there were so many people out there upset about the black guy.
Jedi, yeah.
Yeah. Like,
No, I mean Black Stormtrooper. I'm sorry, Black Stormtrooper.
Whatever.
Yeah, that. Well, like I didn't see all of it until like recently. I was online and you know it said like the guy who plays Finn kind of talks to the haters and there were so many tweets just like black people in Star Wars. Oh, first they took this and now they're taking our movies. Boycott Star Wars. I don't know why they all something.
So fucking dumb.
I just went racist.
Yeah, I mean, Vader was black. It was James Earl Jones. I mean, what you gonna do?
The voice
Mace Windu was black.
Lando Calrissian.
Yeah.
Like, all the cool characters are black.
I think it was the fact that he was a forefront character, and the fact that you see like posters with him with a lightsaber, and so
which. Just so everyone's aware, I went into Star Wars having not seen a single trailer. These guys can attest, like, we'd watch Monday Night Raw, and, like, a commercial would come on. And there was specifically a moment where I covered my ears, turned, and started scatting.
There was a point where my roommate would be like, oh, we fast-forwarded through a Star Wars commercial. Let me rewind back. And we all just jumped up and just went, no, stop! Stop!
I wanted to go in completely blind. And I almost kind of wish I didn't now. Because all those shots of Finn with the lightsaber were just pretty much perfect, got you marketing.
Yeah. But yeah, like I remember I read a comment. It was like, like these monkeys in space, and I was just like, shit.
That was already a movie. It's called Space Chimps. I think Andy Samberg voiced one of them.
Or Planet of the
Also, I
Apes.
think they freaked out because, like, the first teaser trailer, their first shot of anybody showing up was Finn.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when they saw that, they're like, oh no,
Yeah.
No, I've read a bunch about it, and the funniest thing was they tried to seem not racist at first, because like the first complaints were like, "Hey, he's black. Stormtroopers are supposed to be clones," and then everyone was like, "Well, no, actually, the original like clone troopers were clones, but by the time well, shit, we're racist anyway."
See, that's that was the only thing I had said the entire time was when they were like, "Oh, it's a black stormtrooper." I was like, "Weren't all the stormtroopers clones of this one Australian guy?" And then like I was told the same thing, and it was like,
It's funny enough you can say it.
Okay.
I mean, she can say it.
Ally just sent me you can say it if you want to.
No, it just reminds me of Childish Gambino.
Okay,
Not
so-
Childish Gambino, Donald Glover.
She just quoted a Donald Glover. So she goes,
Spider-Man Black now?
just gonna make Spider-Man black now? Just gonna make Spider-Man black? Why don't we just have Michael Cera play Shaft?
That would be fucking amazing.
Drink my Shaft juice. Watch my Shaft TV. I just
Drink my
realized
shaft juice. Just realized shaft juice sounds like semen. Don't want to drink that.
Are you just gonna make Stormtroopers black now? Are you just gonna make them black now?
yeah, the only thing I thought was when I saw it was like, oh, wait, aren't all the stormtroopers clones of this one Australian guy? And then my immediate self-response to that thought was, oh, in the very first movie, the Luke and Han are both in disguise as stormtroopers. So I mean, we don't know this guy's story. So I mean,
Yeah.
I was like, I'll wait and find out.
They answered it right there too,
Yeah.
because like
They're
other
like-
general,
Yeah, the general was just
Phasma?
like,
Or like...
the Nazi
Hux.
boy, yeah,
Hux.
yeah,
Oh, okay.
Hux. Yeah, he was. They were like, he was just like, well, I wanted to. He was like, we should.
Wait,
oh,
would you, well, so,
Kylo Ren went back.
what would you prefer, an army of clone troopers?
Yeah, and he was like, their life expectancy was shit or something, and we were like, oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
That was my favorite quote of that time
Yeah,
movie.
yeah, you know.
Clone troopers, their life expectancy was shit.
That's some good writing right there.
General Hux, man, whatever your name is, shit.
Oh wait, he was the Weasley, right? Was he the Weasley?
Oh, was he a Weasley?
Yeah, the redhead general guy. He played a Weasley in the Harry Potter movies.
Yeah.
No,
Was he?
no,
No, that wasn't him.
Okay, I was say I don't think that was because I didn't know who you. Oh, no.
The Hitler speech guy.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
I didn't
No.
recognize anyone until I saw the entire cast of Lost were the Resistance.
And one guy from Heroes.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah, Greg Grunberg. Yeah, everyone from.
And the Asian guy at the command center was fucking Jun Tao from Rush Hour.
I mean, I knew who Kylo Ren was when he took his mask off. Like, I know.
Oh, yeah,
It's
yeah.
Adam Driver. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, right.
Domhnall Gleeson, who plays General Hux, also known as Bill Weasley in Harry Potter.
Yes!
Weasley.
Boom!
You were
Yes!
right, I'm sorry.
All right. But no, it's funny because I was
Ginger is a Nazi.
No, the first time I watched it, I was with my girlfriend and her parents, and right when Kylo Ren took off his helmet, Allie just pointed to the screen and just went, Adam Driver?
Yeah.
Adam Driver from Girls?
I was just like, oh, Adam. What's up, Adam?
He's really good.
Yeah, I like that one.
I
Surprised.
again, I went into this knowing nothing about Kylo Ren. I told DeMarcus my reaction.
I thought it was
Like
awesome.
the second viewing of the movie had me realize that essentially Ben Kylo Ren was a Darth Vader. He was a fanboy.
Mm-hmm.
And then I saw him unmasked for the first time, and I was like, oh. It's a dork! Look at that fucking dork!
Have you seen that emo Kylo Ren Twitter thing that's been going
Yeah,
on lately?
no.
I think
Hilarious.
my favorite
love
part
those.
was so he goes by Kylo Ren the whole movie, and you don't find out his name's Ben until like the very end.
Yeah.
And I just was imagining like his conversation with Snoke. Like Snoke's like, "I want you to become a Knight of Ren." He's like, "Oh yeah, all right, okay, that sounds good." And he's like, "What is your name?" Ben. Okay, all of the Knights of Ren take the last name Ren. So we can't have you being Ben Ren. That's just not gonna work. That's not gonna work for me.
Ben Ren.
Ben Ren. Isn't that that show on Cartoon Network, the kid with the watch that makes...
That's Ben 10.
Ben 10.
Oh, okay.
Isn't that French comic? Or is that
Oh, that's,
Yeah.
That's
I don't
Hoof Flynn.
No, that's Jerry Lewis.
Yeah, all right.
Oh man. And it was like some people told me that they thought it was too funny, and I was like, no,
No, it's
like
perfect.
it's like perfectly balanced. Like,
Yeah.
dude.
The biggest complaint I've heard about it so far was from Allie's dad, and he's like, I liked it, but it was way too similar to episode 4.
I've
It
heard
was
that.
supposed to be.
Yeah, and I was like,
Yeah.
what's the problem with that? I mean,
It was supposed to be Lucas when he mapped out all of the sequels and everything. He said he wanted them all to be mirrors of one another. And J.J. Abrams, in wanting to respect Lucas's decision of that, kept that in episode 7. So episode 7 mirrors episode 4 quite a bit.
It was supposed, and it was going to mirror episode 1, but they decided to cut all the scenes of trade agreements and
trade agreements and Jar Jar Binks.
No, because I watch the Black Nerd Comedy, Andre.
Oh, yeah, I love Andre.
And he said something like, he was like, yeah, it felt like that Disney was like, hey, we know that these prequels were fucking horrible, so we're gonna this is a safe place. Here you go. Like you're back. You're welcome. We're gonna put you right here. We're gonna introduce some new stuff, but here you're safe. And that's what it felt like. So
Yeah, I do know. I was really struggling with the genuineness of when they were introducing characters from the original series, because I was like, okay, this movie's coming along, and I felt like every once in a while, just to kind of like punctuate how awesome everything was going, they'd be like, blop, there's Han Solo, and everyone's like, yay, it's Han Solo, I remember that guy, yay!
My favorite was like you see Han and Leia for the first time together in like years, and then fucking C-3PO shows up. Oh, Han Solo, sir.
There's that perfect look of just like frustration and anger and disappointment in Han Solo's face. Like, this fucking thing.
Have you ever seen the Family Guy parody when they do that, where it's just like, this is Leia, this is R2D2, this is Chewie, and that's Saj over there. You don't remember my name, do you? We spent this entire time on this fucking ship, and you never learned my name. Sure, I know your name, slugger. I hate you. Nice to meet you. I'm C-3PO. Yeah, C-3PO. Yeah, we're talking about C-3PO. Yeah, C-3PO. Like, just...
some people saw it before I saw it, and they didn't give anything away when I saw it, before I saw it. But he said that he saw it with like a group of a whole bunch of people, and like he was like, oh, like, hey, Han Solo's coming out. Oh, cool! Everybody claps. And he said it got to the part where Leia came out and nobody recognized her, so everybody was like,
Do we
"Oh,
clap?
C-3PO! Oh!"
Yeah, no, like there was an article on the internet that's just like Leia has aged quite a bit.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
A
Well,
lot.
They all
She also
have.
did
It's like
drugs.
40 years later.
Well, she also did drugs and stuff too.
Yeah, you know.
Like,
It was right after episode 4. Like, it was right after the Christmas special, right, when she started taking drugs.
I mean, Christmas special. I took
That
your
was
suit.
fantastic.
I know one thing a lot of people were complaining about was like, how have Han and Chewie been working together so long and Han's never used the bowcaster before?
Yeah.
Because that's
And
Chewie's weapon, dude.
That's my theory was Chewie was involved in the war on Kashyyyk before they met, before Chewie and Han got together. And then Chewie and Han teamed up, and they were smugglers, but they were charming smugglers. They probably didn't have to get into fights that much. In fact, the only times you see trades going badly, like in the original movies, you see Han alone shooting Greedo. You see Han sweet talking his way out of Jabba's trade dispute and whatnot. So it's one of those things where I think like maybe they just haven't had to discharge their weapons around each other that much.
Yeah.
And it's like the first time they get to a point where they're actually like fighting and have to like use their weapons around one another was episode 7.
Yeah.
And Han only now, for the first time after Chewie's been lugging this thing around for forever, saw it in action and was like, holy shit.
Yeah.
Damn, D.
Yeah, you like that?
What just happened?
For everyone not able to see, listening at home, DeMarcus dropped one of his chocolate-covered coffee beans and got a little fresh with me trying to...
Still good.
5-second rule.
My
the
biggest
5-second
complaint,
rule on like needing therapy now.
my biggest complaint with the movie was I felt like it was spoilers. There's gonna be spoilers here,
We'll give you 5 seconds.
and that was my biggest complaint. No, my biggest complaint was that I felt like they quote unquote killed and then really clumsily quote unquote resurrected Poe. Because I felt like if he died...
Fun fact, he was supposed to die
Oh.
in the original draft of the script.
Oh, my goodness.
Oh,
So
yeah.
that's probably why.
Yeah, I felt like if he died, it would have been poignant. Like, fucking Finn got his jacket. Like, how was he thrown out of his jacket?
Yeah.
Like,
Maybe it just
I
got
don't-
really hot and he just took it off.
Yeah,
And
like,
just left
right.
it there.
Oh, we're crashing. Let's get this jacket off.
I'm burning! I don't need this!
So, yeah, I don't know what... So, all right, so that explains it, though, if there was a script rewrite or something. But yeah, that felt really clumsy as far as storytelling goes. But I love the character. Poe's character is probably my favorite.
I felt that if maybe they showed Poe getting rescued, it would have been a lot better.
Yeah.
You know.
And
Yeah.
they show it in the book.
I keep calling him Space Fonzie.
I just hate how like when they see each other again, it's like, what happened to you? Oh, I got rescued in the desert. What happened to you? Oh, that. We saw you do all that. What happened to you? Like,
See, in the book, apparently there is a passage where it shows Poe like he had been thrown from the craft and there was a passing speeder and Poe tried to wave it down and then he got picked up and taken to safety and that's it. And then you see him again later when they kind of reconnect. Wow. But like that, even just that like 3-second scene would have made that seem a lot more genuine.
Yeah. I said that like with that whole thing, because you meet Poe, and he's really charismatic right off the bat, and I like that guy. He was in this other movie called Inside Llewyn Davis. If you haven't seen it, watch it. It's about music and shit, folk music and shit. But you know, and then I was like, okay, he's kind of like the new Han Solo. And I was like, all right, cool. And then I knew Han Solo was gonna be in the movie though. And so when he died, I was like, I leaned over to Ken. I saw it with Ken. I was like, you don't need 2 Han Solos in the movie. And you know,
what's interesting though is they're doing it more, in my opinion. Like, okay, spoilers. There's spoilers here. So it was like when Wash died.
Yeah.
In Serenity, because Wash was kind of like their Han Solo a little bit. He was the comic relief. But then they promoted...
The common complaint about Firefly here is that it's a ship full of Han Solos.
And they promoted their universe's equivalent of a Force user, River, to be the new captain. So even though Poe is a rogue class, we have the Jedi class that's being promoted to the pilot of the Falcon with the Wookiee. I talked with Dylan a bunch about this after, like, me, Alan, Corey, and Dylan talked a bunch about this after we all saw it. And I think Dylan was the one who said that this was pretty much like a Star Wars role-playing game session, like, put to a script. Because, like, the characters are...
I brought that up, too.
Yeah, the characters are very much like... oh, there's your Jedi, there's your ex-Stormtrooper, there's your rogue, like, very archetypal characters.
Yeah.
Yeah, huh. I like that.
A lot of people, again, spoilers. Spoilers, it's spoiler time.
Spoilers!
Spoilers.
Huge
Star Wars spoiler.
Just spoil.
We'll give you 5 seconds!
And then it turned out Bruce Willis was a ghost the whole time.
No way! No way! Oh man!
I didn't see it. I didn't see it coming.
You didn't tell me that. You didn't tell me it was going to be a spoiler.
That's why he was. Oh! That's why he was bleeding. Okay, I get it now.
No,
it was Samuel L. Jackson.
there was a lot of complaints that Rey and Finn were able to best Kylo Ren in lightsaber combat.
I think that's bullshit.
Yeah, and it is, because he got shot.
Yeah, he got shot with that weapon
that we've seen in the and that to me strikes as showing how badass he is. Like, they did that on purpose. They showed, like, previous shots of that thing, like, blowing up 5 guys at once.
Yeah.
And then it hits Kylo, and he just kind of shrugs it off a little bit.
Just hits
And
it.
he even smacks on his own wound to feed his dark side rage.
Yeah.
I was a little upset that Chewbacca took so long to react. It felt like it took because as soon as I saw Han Solo walking out into the middle of that bridge, I was like, Han is going to die, and I cannot wait to see the Wookiee rage that it incurs.
No, I straight up, like, 10 minutes into Han Solo being on screen and us finding out Kylo Ren was his son, I was like, oh, he dead.
Oh, bitch dead.
I was kind of holding out to the hope as bad as this is going to sound, I was holding out to the hope that instead of Han dying, I knew it was either going to be Han or Chewie. And I thought when Han started on that bridge that I was like, okay, this could still be Chewie if Chewie does some crazy Wookiee flip down there and like lands in front of him
Crazy Wookiee flip.
to protect. Hey, they swung around on tree vines, all right? You know, that's...
I don't know how agile Peter Mayhew is right now.
That was Ewoks.
Short Harry.
Yeah, you know my favorite Wookiee, the one that go jub jub. Yeah, those are the best.
Yap yap.
Jub jub.
Those are Jawas. I just made a Jawa noise.
So yeah, no, I knew he was gonna die. I was a little disappointed it took Chewie so long to react and shoot Kylo. But yeah, like now there is one thing I can say about the bowcaster, and I know this isn't canon anymore. There's still some stuff you can kind of draw from canon, even though it's not going to be entirely accurate.
The original canon was that the bowcaster shot a slug that was surrounded by energy.
But I was going to say
So it's pretty much a shotgun.
that in a lot of the games, the bowcaster charged. The longer you held the trigger, the more powerful the shot was. Okay. So if Chewie was just pissed and trying to get a pop shot off, it wouldn't be a full charge. It wouldn't be the blasting 5 guys backwards, but it would still be a blaster hit.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's one thing a lot of people overlook is that Kylo Ren, when he fought those two, he was injured.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then the other thing you brought up, I think is really cool too.
Yeah. Kylo Ren's also probably maybe been in 2 lightsaber fights in his entire life.
Yeah. Like, because I feel like he doesn't have to rely on his saber because his
force is already great. Yeah,
is so strong.
Yeah,
fucking hold back a blast without even,
Sith excel at different things. Like, Saga Edition Star Wars, the character they have for Darth Maul, he doesn't have any force powers.
Yeah,
but
it's all.
But he can fight his ass off.
Yeah, it's all. And the other thing is, once the Jedi Council fell, all of the different styles of lightsaber practiced would have died. So even though back in the day everyone would have been awesome lightsaber fighters because there were actual like sword fighting techniques that they used, and I think there were 7 different styles.
Yep.
Yeah.
They all would have been gone. Like, completely lost.
Yeah, and then if there's only one Jedi in the whole fucking world,
Yeah.
Like, even the Sith, probably, in the whole verse.
The one thing I will say is, I don't think, even wounded, unless, I know he was wounded bad, and that was... But even if he's just wounded, I don't think Finn should have been able to fight against him with standard soldier training against a Sith, well, the equivalent of a Sith, a Knight of Ren.
Yeah.
Unless Finn was at the very least force sensitive. Not necessarily a force user, but because Kylo Ren has shown his manipulation of time, and time does not have the same impact on Force users historically throughout the series as it does on other people. They can, block blaster hits with their hand. Darth Vader was able to hold his hand up in front of a blaster hit. Those things are moving at near speed of light, so the plus all of the Jedi that have been shown thrown into piloting situations that they've been able to just use their force senses to get out of it. I think even if he was just injured, that he still would have seriously outclassed Finn as a fighter unless Finn was at the very least force sensitive. But that's just my opinion. That's there is some stuff to back that up, but not nearly enough to make it a
I think
theory.
it's as simple as he got shot.
Yeah.
You just think he was that injured?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, and to be honest, I don't think Finn did that well. I mean,
no. Yeah, he didn't do great.
I mean,
and that actually
that
leads to another thing that was brought up in the book that other people who watched the movie thought it was a plot hole, but it was explained in the book very simply. Kylo Ren had a belt on that had a tracker in it. So when everyone was like, how did Hux just go into the forest and find him? Kylo had just run off and not told anyone where he was going. Hux had the tracker to locate him.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I think that's good for Star Wars talk.
I think there was some good Star Wars talk.
We have some Tumblr questions.
Sweet.
All right. Give it to us, Tumblr.
little bit
Just
of
about
quiz.
movies in general.
All right.
Okay, yeah, that's what's up. Tumblr.
One of the questions has to do with a thing that I know I've seen that I'm certain none of you guys have seen.
Was it?
It's movie question. What is your favorite thing about the movie Doomhouse?
Oh.
Have you seen Doomhouse?
I've never seen Doomhouse.
Is that the YouTube video Doomhouse?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The one
Yes,
made
I've
by-
seen it.
Oh,
those two?
the one made by the Something Awful guy. Low Tax.
What's my favorite thing about the movie Doomhouse? It ends.
I kind of have to agree because it's... Man, I love bad movies, but not that intentionally bad. Because it's just two guys trying to make a 15-minute terrible horror movie.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then they made Mood House.
Yeah. That
And
was also a thing.
That was also bad. That was not. I'm sorry. I'm sorry we didn't like the thing that you probably like.
Sorry.
The Marks and
We're
I never even
sorry.
heard of it.
We still
We're
like
sorry.
you.
We're
We still like you.
sorry.
Movie question. What would Coffee and Pie Podcast the movie be like? Well, the first thing I'm going to say is you should tune into this channel on April 1st. Because there's going to be a documentary about the behind the scenes of what goes on here at Coffee and Pie.
It's going to be like The Office, but with coffee and pie.
But aside from that, what would Coffee and Pie the podcast, the movie, be like?
Well, let's ask a more pertinent question. Who would play us?
Ooh.
Ooh.
Are we talking famous actors
Well,
or like?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, according to Scott last night, I look like Morris Chestnut. So Scott was trying to be a dick and say, all black people look alike, and he was like, yeah, it looks like you, and it was more.
Which one is it? It was Morris Chestnut.
He was in all the black movies.
Oh.
He's the buff one.
He's Rosewood.
Yeah, Rosewood.
On the television show Rosewood.
But I was like, if I look like Morris Chestnut, fuck yeah.
That's fine. I'm cool with that.
Hell yeah. Morris Chestnut.
So is Marcus.
Because apparently
okay.
I look like, Morris Chestnut.
No. I think you look more like the guy who played Biggie in that biopic from a few years back.
I don't know his real name, but yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I always been told I look like Biggie Smalls. So,
That's a compliment, dude.
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, I just.
For me, if
I'll
we were going to known like American actors, I feel like maybe John Cho, Harold from Harold and Kumar.
You don't think John
Yeah,
Travolta?
maybe.
No, who would it be then?
Stephen Yeun.
Shut up. That's a really good answer. The guy who plays Glenn from Walking Dead would be me.
I don't know him, but okay.
Okay. And if not him, my doppelganger is a Korean soap opera star named Ji Sung.
Oh,
And
yeah.
the
I
guy.
remember-
Yeah. So my Facebook profile was this dude for the longest time, and
Yeah,
people
for
thought,
the longest time, it was just a picture of this actor, and everyone just assumed it was you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, oh, this is nice.
Stephen Yeun.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
A little bit.
And he has a beard now.
Who's playing
Oh yeah,
Brad?
he's got a beard now. So there we go.
Who is playing me?
Who's playing Brad?
One of the most hilarious comparisons I've ever heard, and I actually was a little offended when I heard it and showed it, was Benicio del Toro. And then when they said it, I was like, really? Benicio? You think? And they were like, you act like Benicio del Toro. And I was like... Okay.
All right, I guess I can have that.
Let's see. Who's a big guy, big comedian guy with Spanish features? Yeah.
Gabriel Iglesias.
I was thinking it.
Spanish, not Mexican.
You know what? I would absolutely love to watch a movie where Gabriel Iglesias would play Brad.
Oh man.
Fun fact, I'm fluffy.
Fun fact. Ah!
Yeah. That's tough. Pass. I'll
Can't pass.
Well, no, I'll figure it out. But
Fine. I'd be fucking Judah Friedlander.
oh,
I'm cool. Yeah,
that's a
that-
good one.
Who's that?
That's a really good one.
You know the guy from 30 Rock with the cool hats, glasses?
Glasses.
Oh, okay. Yeah. All right. Yeah, I like that.
I'd watch this movie.
Nick Frost?
No.
No.
Gotta get the beard.
Everyone just take a look at Brad right now, and what actor can you think of?
Tim Curry.
Young Tim
Young
Curry?
Tim Curry.
That'd be awesome. Resurrect him.
What about that guy from Pirate Radio? You know,
Radio.
Nick Frost. No, the guy. He's in I think it's the IT Crowd.
I don't know. Yeah, just
Let me get his name and you can tell me.
So we have Steven Yeun.
Chris O'Dowd.
I can see it.
The guy from Notorious B.I.G., the biopic. Judah Freelander.
Chris O'Dowd.
yeah. I can see Chris O'Dowd.
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Oh!
I mean,
the guy from Bridesmaids, yeah, okay.
he's like Welsh or British.
Yeah, I can see that.
He's Irish. I'm way off. God damn it.
He's like Welsh.
Okay, so
All right. Yeah.
fuck played Notorious. We're gonna say Morris Chestnut still.
Hey, I'm cool with that.
So the Coffee and Pie movie, starring Steven Yeun, Chris O'Dowd, Morris Chestnut, and Judah Freelander.
That'd be fucking bad.
I'd watch it.
What's the
I'll
plot of the
watch
Coffee
it.
and Pie movie?
The plot of the Coffee and Pie movie.
Okay. Oh, the thing we want to break into the Olympics. The Olympic sex.
Now that's an actual movie I wanted to
Oh,
pitch
okay.
at some point.
Never mind. Forget that.
We'll edit that out.
I mean, we
that in
probably
post.
won't.
Coffee and Pie movie. Okay, so it should
Now
be...
everyone knows that there's just Alan has a movie pitch he has in mind that has to do with the Olympics and sex.
Well, I didn't say that specific, but
yeah.
that was sex noises.
Clapping is sex noise.
This is sex noise.
This is
everybody.
all the sex right now.
Bravo on the sex.
I get snaps.
Sex you guys didn't have.
Apparently, really applause worthy.
We have critically praised sex.
Get a standing
what we do-
ovation.
What we do is we all make sure the first time's really bad, so that the second time they're like, "Nice job."
That was way better.
That was unexpected.
Hold on. There we go.
Let's see.
Sound levels look amazing on that. They're just little dots.
What
so-
would the plot be? I think the plot would need to be like.
I think it needs to be like Harold and Kumar-ish, you know?
Well, that's what I was gonna say. Should it be like satirical, or should it be like more?
Who would be the enemy of the Coffee and Pie podcast? Who have we made fun of?
Robo Norm.
No, we love Robo Norm.
No, Robo Norm would be like the guy we would go to in the middle of the movie if we needed help with something.
Yeah, he'd be like our sage.
He'd be our Yoda.
Yeah. He'll have all our guns and shit.
Yoda Norm.
Yeah, Yoda Norm.
They would get to the point in the movie where we're down and out and we need help and we have to go see Robo Norm.
Yeah. I think it's
There's
only
only one thing that can help us now. Robo Norm. Well, I was thinking the police, but I mean, I guess.
I mean, as we can
sure.
Robo. I think we should be searching for like a cronut. You know,
A what?
the cronut. You know, the croissant donut thing. All right, cool.
Bless your heart.
I think he said a Kona. I'm like, does he not know how to pronounce coconut?
We're gonna pass on your
What
movie.
what if in searching for the perfect coffee we stumble upon a drug cartel?
Huh? There it is.
Man, this coffee's great, bitch.
Made in Colombia.
All right. Well, to it. Until then, like the head boss would be like,
Like he'd be like trying to chase us down because we witnessed his operation, and then like maybe the twist at the end is like we all joined the operation.
So it's
Drug dealers.
So pretty much we're talking about Pineapple Express, but at the end we joined them.
Oh damn it! Yeah, no, I guess that's
shit.
Can't be Pineapple Express. All right, not Pineapple Express.
But who do we hate?
Culminate in a giant pie fight. Yeah.
There it is. Okay. All right.
Morris Chestnut in a pie fight.
That's gonna sell. That's gonna be the new. That's gonna be the new. I mean, we gotta bring in our people like Gladys the Gargoyle.
Gladys the Gargoyle.
Yeah.
And
Tony Hawk and
who else?
Larry the Suit Dude.
They gotta be. Those are staples of Coffee and Pie.
what was the one thing that RoboNorm animated us with? Brad as the squid.
We'd have to turn into our superhero alter egos as well.
That's right.
This is almost like I don't know why I'm getting Pick of Destiny vibes off of this.
I mean, of course, we're like Tenacious D, but just
I think we need I think the more serious we play it, the better it's gonna be.
Yeah,
it needs to be like I'm almost thinking because of our own proclivities toward movies, it almost needs to be a horror flick, but like maybe a funny horror flick, or maybe just a thriller of some sort.
So like Cabin in the Woods or something, or
or Shaun of the Dead, or or like a comedic thriller.
That could just be like a whole act where we're in a haunted cabin.
Yeah, there you go.
kind of go through the motions of like some of our early episodes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We start off in a diner.
Yes.
And you won't be there.
Yep.
Brad won't be there.
We meet you along the way. Priska's there, and we talk about cartoons and cereal.
Yeah. I mean, it could be like an adventure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, that was the second question.
Yeah, we'll flesh it out.
We'll get it. We'll get it work for you.
We'll get a rough draft for you.
Get it over to
I actually have to sign into my other Tumblr account because people sent both to me and to the Coffee and Pie Tumblr.
Oh, okay.
Got it.
Gotcha.
Yeah, once we figure out what it is, we'll do like a teaser trailer. We'll script it out and we'll send it to RoboNorm, and hopefully he can.
We can have like an animated movie.
Yeah, we can have like a little animated teaser trailer or something.
Yeah.
Not anytime soon, I'm sure, but like.
Right.
No, not even.
Yeah.
Is he still working on?
He's busy. He says he's working on something. From what I could see, it was an animation of the story of Brad breaking up with that girl.
Oh! All right.
Yes.
Did anyone, like, when they saw the new Independence Day trailer and they had the speech, did anyone think of Brad?
Yes.
Yep.
Yes, okay.
As soon as I heard it, I was like, Brad broke up.
Great.
It's all your fault.
Okay.
Okay. Do we have a pre-show or warm-up before we start recording Coffee and Pie? No, just kind of general.
I mean, the closest thing we have is probably, like, we're testing levels. Like, I'll just have everyone from where they're sitting say a random thing, and I'll just test out the level to see if they're too loud, too soft. That's
before that, I mean, do you think the circle jerk doesn't count, does it?
Oh, no.
No,
That's-
okay.
okay.
So,
I mean,
so no.
That's just for us.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's all right.
what about the blind orgy? Like, is that?
We're not supposed to talk about how we fuck blind people.
Yeah.
What?
Nothing.
I mean,
Get back there, please.
We get a blind person. We just glory hole him from both sides.
It's usually an old man.
So you got kind of like that haunted house where someone's blindfolded effect. It's the Hall of Penis.
I mean, sometimes we pick a song. Like,
We'll pick a song and we'll rehearse the song like one time.
bit.
Yeah.
yeah.
And we didn't do that this time.
Nope.
Oh,
We'll pick it up.
usually we are getting our coffee and pie and like
Yeah.
plating it up or doing that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I cleaned a little.
Okay, next question. Top 5 black guys in cinema.
Yes.
Morris
yes.
Chestnut.
Awesome question. Awesome question. I don't know if my discussing this ever made it onto the coffee and pie videos because we've lost several of our videos, but
Yeah.
there was a time where I tested people. I said, name 10 white actors. People could do, and I timed them. And I said, name 10 white actresses, 10 black actors, 10 black actresses, 10 Hispanic actors, 10 Hispanic actresses, and it got to the point where I was like, why? In that exact order, people could name them the quickest to the slowest, and by the time it got to Hispanic actors and actresses, it couldn't even name 10 of them.
Yeah.
It's bad.
Bad to
But
the bone.
awesome question. I love
Top
that.
5 black guys in cinema.
I like. Let's see.
Can I go ahead and put my vote out there for? And I know he was on the list when when you asked me to list black actors for that one. Michael J. White, I think is his name.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Spawn.
Yeah, Black
Black
Dynamite.
Dynamite, yeah.
Black Dynamite. Yeah.
We were talking about, he could play Black Panther if
Oh yeah.
the world was awesome.
Yeah, the world's not enough. Yeah. Are we going in a row? Or are we?
I think just collectively we need to pick a top 5.
Okay.
Well,
I want to say Michael Clark Duncan.
yeah.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
We gotta put Sidney Poitier on there.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
I'd put Sidney Poitier as number 1.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was my number one. Obviously, Will Smith. Will Smith.
My favorite black actor is Don Cheadle.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
he's on the list too.
Yeah.
How many did you say?
Sidney Poitier, Don Cheadle, Michael J. White,
Michael Clark Duncan.
He said Will Smith too.
and
Will Smith.
Will
But
Smith.
I don't know. I don't know about Will Smith.
Can I have one?
Yeah.
Sure.
Forrest Whitaker.
Forrest
Oh,
Whitaker.
Forrest Whitaker.
Oh,
Yeah,
good
there's
job,
our top
Allie.
5.
Good job.
He's amazing.
Yep.
Okay, there's the top 5. Is it okay to cry if Captain America dies in Civil War? It is mandatory to cry. You need to stand up in your seat, not making crying noises, just tears streaming down your face and salute.
Yes. Agreed.
Because that's what I'm going to do.
And if people
no matter
behind,
what,
yeah.
no matter what anyone in the theater says.
If people behind you tell you to sit down, you turn around and call them a communist.
Yes.
Is "Oh Captain, My Captain" an appropriate response?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
What other response can there be?
Of course.
I hope he
yeah.
doesn't. I don't think he.
Nah, I think
think
he's
he
gonna make it
will.
to at least
that
Infinity
was-
Wars.
all the other ones were anonymous.
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 All the other ones were anemones.
Many missing.
All the other
Anonymous.
ones were from sea anemones, and that last one was from Gobble Dobble.
Oh.
All right.
Gobble dobble.
Gobble Dobble has another one.
Double dribble.
Can you do more life, coffee, and pie?
Life.
Life, coffee, and pie?
Live.
Live.
Oh!
Live. Sorry.
Oh.
Can we do more? Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, if
Sure.
You like
Yeah,
it?
we can
Yeah,
do
that was fun.
eventually.
that
Like
was
it,
fun
we
last
like it.
time, yeah.
That was fun.
We did live coffee and pie for a straight 4 hours.
Yeah. Always fun.
20 minutes of which was like us recording and not being aware we were recording.
Totes.
Allie was actually on the phone. She's like, I'm trying to watch this live thing you guys are doing. All I hear is you humming something, and it's just repeating. It's like, oh.
Next
yeah.
one from Gobble Dobble is not a question. Please don't let Sean make the second Disney episode.
Oh!
But
You haven't even-
that's going to happen eventually.
I was going to
Yeah,
say, you haven't
we
even
got
heard the
to.
first Disney episode because it was lost.
Well, we had this
Yeah,
semi-did at Disney.
The Yen Sid episode.
Yeah.
Fight Club, discuss.
It's
Okay.
phenomenal.
Starting one?
Yeah.
We should
well,
all
we
we
can't.
should all discuss it from different perspectives.
We
You can
can't.
discuss
Okay.
starting one.
I think Ferris and Cameron are the same person. Yeah.
Ah, I
Can you
like
think
that.
about that?
I like that a lot.
Keep calling me.
I'll,
Keep calling me.
I'll go. I'll go.
Son of a bitch!
God damn it!
So here's an interesting thing. What they were making in Fight Club is lye soap, which is a very strong soap and isn't good for sensitive skin. But you can
kinda
make
funny.
soap out of anything caustic and anything that's an oil or lipid of any sort.
What Brad's trying to say is he's learning how to make soap.
I am. I make this really great goat's milk and glycerin soap for sensitive skin.
This is true.
It's all over. I've taken pictures of it. They're on my Instagram right now. You can see my progress in soap making.
You're talking about the starting one?
The Soap Makers is a song by Clutch.
So good.
Probably one of their best songs.
Are you talking about starting one?
No. I will say that Chuck Palahniuk is a really fantastic writer.
And I will say I can't discuss Fight Club because that's the first rule.
Oh.
Did you like of Palahniuk's? Did you read more of Palahniuk?
Yeah.
Did you read Choke?
I did read Choke. I like Choke.
Do you like Fight
Probably-
Club or Choke better?
Probably my favorite book of his, though, is I'm gonna say Lullaby.
Moonshine Lullaby.
Oh, fuck that! It's Invisible Monsters, actually.
Okay.
Invisible
Yeah,
Monsters
yeah,
is
yeah.
probably my favorite.
I think I have that one. Actually, I've got that, and I think I've got that Choke and Fight Club. I'm not aware of Lullaby. What's that one about?
It's about this lullaby poem that kills people if you say it to them.
Sweet.
Oh,
That's cool.
And the main character is a guy who's become so disgusted with life that, like, he keeps doing it in his brain and killing people on accident.
oh, shit.
I like it. I want to read that.
Make it a movie.
I might
Make
have
it a movie,
to,
Hollywood.
I might have to read that.
I just started reading Sandman.
Yeah, Sandman's good.
Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah, I like
Nice.
it. Just got past the Constantine part. That was pretty cool.
Neil Gaiman also did a book. Huh?
No, I'm just talking to
I
Marcus.
was making fun of them.
Neil Gaiman also did a book called Neverwhere. That's one of my favorites. American Gods is really good, too. Anyway,
Yeah, good one.
we barely discussed Fight Club, and that's over. Good movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a great movie. Love it.
What is the best wrestling-inspired movie?
The Jesse Ventura one.
No.
No. I will say Ringmaster with Jerry Springer.
If it's not the I mean, the wrestler was a huge
it kinda
deal.
has
It
to
has
be
to be the
I'm about to say
wrestler.
it kind of
Yeah.
Or, Ready to Rumble.
Wrestling isn't fake.
A movie I own on DVD.
Oh, yeah.
Congratulations.
Did we get that for you? Or
No, I
No,
just
no.
bought it at Vintage Stock for like $5, I think.
The wrestler was we've talked about this one before. I just don't know if it was on one of the lost episodes or not. But the wrestler and Black Swan are like sister movies.
Yeah, both
They're-
directed by the same guy.
Amazing. They're both amazing. They're
Yeah.
like they're like parallel stories. One is the spiritual successor to the other.
What was his name? Darren Aronofsky or something
Yeah.
like that?
Yeah.
Because the first name that popped in my head was Jenny Tartakovsky, and I was just like, there's no way he did those movies.
no?
The guy who did
The Dexter's
Dexter.
Lab guy.
Dexter's Lab and Hotel Transylvania. That guy was great.
And the final question is, the Allen movie win? Any hints about the plot? This is from Gobble Dobble again.
Gobble
I guess that'd have to be a spin-off of the Coffee and Pie movie.
Yeah.
What would the Allen movie be about? It involved Clutch somehow.
Yeah. Yeah.
Going to go see Clutch live in concert, but you get to the venue and they're rained out.
Oh, wait, that happened one time. Have I told that story on
I
here?
don't think so.
Maybe.
I think.
I think so.
I am supposed to remind you to tell another story though.
Oh, which one? Oh, yeah.
Oh, what?
Oh boy.
I just gestured to DeMarcus and he's got this very confused look on his face.
I guess I'll save the rained out concert story for another time. So we can talk about that was the end of the Tumblr questions, by the way. So we can talk about DeMarcus and Pumpkin Pie.
Oh, yeah. All right.
Okay.
We can do this.
So we've had this feud before. My refusal to accept that DeMarcus doesn't like pie. So we ate at Gates Barbecue, and he was like, "They have these little mini pies here.
I said you want a yum pie.
You should eat a sweet potato pie." And I was like, "Okay, you know what? It's been a while since I've had a sweet potato pie. I'll eat a sweet potato pie." And I ate the whole thing. He was like, "What'd you think?" Like all proud of himself, and I got so mad because it tasted exactly like pumpkin pie.
No.
You can keep saying it did not.
I
I
can-
fucking ate it.
I can tell you.
It tastes exactly like pumpkin pie.
No, it doesn't.
So
At my work, before Thanksgiving, before we were all going on break, we had a little office holiday party. And there was a table of holiday pies with labels beside them. So I switched out the label for sweet potato pie and pumpkin pie. And nobody noticed.
He told me that story, And I'm told that story.
So then I talked to my dad, who is a professional chef, and said, so I switched out the labels for sweet potato pie and pumpkin pie, and no one noticed. He's like, yeah, they taste fucking exactly the same.
No, they don't. Okay, because I think we were going to talk about this. What is in a pumpkin pie? What you said that?
Yeah,
they use
Pumpkin?
But what? No, the spice. Like, what is the spice? You said
it's a mixture of cinnamon, nutmeg, cloves,
ugh.
Okay.
ginger.
Okay.
I think maybe
Yeah,
a
I
little
like the
bit.
ginger.
Allspice.
Yeah, I always make
sometimes.
pies.
Probably the allspice. The allspice, the cloves, and the ginger is probably what I taste when I taste the pumpkin pie.
Aren't those in sweet potato pie?
No. Ginger is not in sweet potato pie. Cloves is not in sweet potato pie. Allspice is not.
Actually, you know what? I may be leading you wrong. I'm gonna look it up just to be sure.
Well, because we had this conversation and I asked my mom. I realized that I've had 3 people's sweet potato pies in the world: my mom's, my grandmother's, and my uncle. You know it?
No, he got all of it. He
Nailed
got
it.
all of it. Dude,
and-
good job.
And my cousin Alberta. And I asked her, and so yes, the nutmeg that was a thing. The cinnamon, that was a thing. My mom said she puts brown sugar, carnation milk, and brown. And I already said brown sugar, didn't I? Egg and all that. But yeah, brown sugar, nutmeg, carnation milk. Maybe some vanilla, but yeah, I think it's the allspice. I think it's the U.S. name that I can taste. I even asked white people. I did. I was at work, and because they were serving some pumpkin pie, I was like, I don't like pumpkin pie.
So you're just like, white people want some pumpkin
well,
pie.
I was just like, hey, what it was like, do you like pumpkin, like everything, or can you taste the difference? And yeah, there's one white girl. She was like, yeah, I could totally taste the difference.
You said of the 5 spices I listed, the ones that weren't in sweet potato pie were ginger, cloves, and did you say allspice or not?
Yeah, allspice is not in there.
Oh snap!
I have
I told
to,
you.
Oh, snap,
I
DeMarcus.
have to say I just looked up a recipe for sweet potato pie. It's Patti LaBelle's sweet potato pie recipe,
Ginger?
and it does not have it's only got cinnamon and nutmeg.
Yeah, and then I said
pumpkin pie spices,
brown
cinnamon,
sugar.
nutmeg, allspice, ginger, and
Do you have like a
cloves.
perfect palate?
not a.
I was gonna
I
say,
don't
can
think
you
it's
like
perfect.
taste everything that's in everything?
Can you
No,
taste
but-
sound?
Yes.
A
Taste it.
flat.
Okay, but I'm
Okay, it's nice now to know that it's because DeMarcus is a fussy bitch.
no. No. Okay, I'm willing to do this. Like, I'm willing to give this a actual chance. If I let my mom make up a pumpkin pie like the way she makes up a sweet potato pie, and I like it, I will say, okay, I am fine with that. Like, I am fine with it. If we let her make it up like she would up a sweet potato pie, I am willing to try that.
I can almost guarantee you, though, that what you're tasting isn't the spices going into it, but the difference between pumpkin and sweet potato.
Well, he
because
said
sweet potato does have brown sugar in it. I don't think pumpkin pie uses brown sugar.
Yeah, and then he said that like pumpkin pie, like they taste the same. Like he said, like pumpkin doesn't have
I've
a.
had both. They do taste very
Well, he said that
similar.
pumpkin doesn't have an actual taste. He said that it's the spices, and so I was like, okay, maybe it is the spices.
Pumpkin has a little bit of taste.
Eh.
A
I don't know.
little bit of
Like,
a taste.
but I'm willing to try.
I've had pumpkin. It tastes so dissimilar to pumpkin pie.
Well, that's true.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna, but I like again. I don't even like pumpkin bread. I don't like so. I don't
like pumpkin anything.
Like I don't really don't. But I'm willing to try it. I'm willing to try a pumpkin pie made up like my mom's sweet potato pie.
So here, eggs, condensed milk. This is pumpkin pie recipe. Eggs and condensed milk. Those are similar.
Yeah.
pumpkin versus yams, sweet
Yeah.
potatoes. That's a dissimilarity. This recipe only has the ginger, cinnamon, and nutmeg. It does not have cloves or allspice in it, and it doesn't say to use pumpkin pie spice. It's not the ginger. Ginger powder, ground ginger, has so like subtle a taste. It has to be what you're tasting is the lack of brown sugar
That could be it.
and the
And
difference
carnation,
between the pumpkin and the yam, which is a little bizarre because I mean yams, because yams are a tuber, they are a modified sugar storage vessel for the plant.
Yeah.
So they're sweet as is,
Yeah.
as per their name, sweet potato. But even
Right.
potatoes are sweet. They contain a bunch of starches.
Right.
So the potato itself is sweet, plus you add brown sugar to it. I think it's going to be the difference between the two of them is that you're used to a pie with a shit ton of sugar in it.
Maybe.
And
It could be.
All right, we need to come to some sort of consensus.
I'm willing.
no,
This,
hold
this
on.
is this is officially like the pumpkin pie episode of Coffee and Pie.
Does everyone else think strawberry rhubarb pie is fucking disgusting?
I've never had it.
I've never had it.
I assume it would be
It's
bad.
awful.
Rhubarb to me just sounds weird. Like,
Rhubarb's gross.
yeah.
Okay.
So I don't know.
I'm
going
gonna
to
do this. I'm gonna do this as a happy medium for you two.
Okay.
One of the next coffee and pies that we have, I'm going to make a butternut squash pie. Have you
You
guys
don't have
both,
to do that.
have you had butternut squash
I
before?
have not. No.
Butternut?
Well, I mean, not as a pie.
Not as a pie, but have you had butternut squash?
I think so. Yeah. Yeah.
And
Not great.
you don't like it?
Not really.
I mean,
Okay.
I don't
Try it.
hate
You might like
but,
it.
I mean, it just depends.
I can't
guess.
give DeMarcus too much shit though. Despite all the evidence to the contrary of me giving him a lot of shit. Because the other one of the other stories I have is, oh man, we went on one of our mandates, like I've talked about previously on the show. We just go hang out, go see a movie, and our two movie options were Trumbo and Creed. And I earlier that day, and also in general in my life with you guys, I specifically gave DeMarcus a bunch of shit for not seeing a certain movie.
Yeah, it was. What was it?
The Departed.
The Departed. Yeah.
Oh.
But I've given everyone in this group a bunch of shit for not seeing movies that are like considered iconic. And Marcus is like, "Oh, which of the two do you want to see?" And I was like, "You should see Trumbo." And like, "Oh, why are you picking that one over Creed?" And he was like, "Because I've never seen a Rocky movie."
This
He
good.
he said that.
You should see Sean's face.
And I
Oh
think
man.
I think what it is for me, I've had the chance to see the Rocky movies. I think Raging Bull is the perfect boxing movie, and I don't want to see any other boxing movie.
Okay, that's a
That's respectful.
that's
but,
a respectful reason, but it's your
But-
face.
No, it's like-
Because
Like I remember him giving me shit for not seeing Stripes, and I was
So
just
wait.
like,
No, we all gave you shit
So
for not
wait,
seeing
you
Stripes.
said you wanted to see Trumbo as opposed to Creed
Yeah.
because Creed is about the Rocky franchise and you haven't seen any of the Rocky movies.
Yeah.
The first time you told me that story, I thought I didn't hear the Creed part. I thought you were saying I don't want to see Trumbo because I've never seen any of the Rocky movies. And I was like, holy shit, man. Isn't that a documentary about a journalist or something?
No, it's about Dalton Trumbo, who was a screenwriter,
Screenwriter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
who was
that's it.
blacklisted because he was
Right,
an
right,
open
right.
communist.
yeah,
Yeah.
and it was phenomenal, by the way.
It was really good. It's what we watched.
Oh,
'Cause-
man.
Yeah.
it's Creed.
I thought that was way worse than it ended up being. It's like Trumbo is in no way associated with the Rocky.
No. We didn't watch Creed because it's the direct sequel to the Rocky films.
Got it.
Yeah.
Got it. Oh
Nice. All right. It's been a good coffee and pie, you think?
man. Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's good. And we're good on time. This is a
Yeah.
90 minute. 90
yeah, it's about 90
minutes.
minutes. Yeah.
All right,
Rad.
Cool stuff.
So,
bro.
thank you very much
Very, very much.
for joining us for... Wait, before we end.
Mhm.
I kind of like doing themes again. What's the theme for the next episode?
Oh.
Are you doing your Donald? Oh yeah,
Yeah.
you Donald Duck. I mean, I guess I can do it.
The theme is Donald Duck.
Yeah, there we go. There it is. Ducks.
The theme is general discussion.
The theme is Disney. It's gonna be the Disney episode. Fuck you, dude.
Donald Duck.
I mean,
Donald
thank you
Duck.
for listening.
Donald Duck. I am the danger that flaps in the night.
That's Darkwing. That's
Darkwing.
Okay, no. I
Next episode is going to be general discussion, but we're all going to be talking like Donald Duck.
can't do
Mine's
that.
more Apu.
I cannot.
I said mine was more Apu. Instead of...
As in Apu and Hasapima pedal on.
I meant the monkey.
I
From
Aladdin.
Abu, yes.
Aladdin, yeah.
thought you.
But I said Apu.
I thought you were just talking about.
Mine's
food.
more like a poo. What? Yeah, no.
Thanks.
What's
Come again.
are we really just general? Not a theme?
No,
I can't- no, certainly not.
Absolutely not.
Let's-
Wait. Right off the bat, there's going to be a movie review.
Oh
Oh yeah, that's true. I mean,
Let's do that.
we gotta watch
We
what
didn't really do a
Africa
general,
screams.
We didn't really do a general movie theme for this one. We
It was
talked
mostly
about,
Star Wars.
it was
Yeah.
mostly Star Wars and a few movie questions from Tumblr. But
and lots of pie talk.
we're going to discuss our favorite and least favorite movies next time.
Cool.
Okay.
And review, along with one other film of your choice,
Paddington.
Africa Screams, starring Abbott and Costello.
And black racist.
It's probably going to be really racist.
I'm excited.
Can we dress up as the characters? I want to be Costello.
And one episode of Brothers and Sisters.
Starring me and DeMarcus.
All right. Cool.
Voting is going to close 1 week after this episode goes up.
Okay.
For which of the three we're going to watch. To remind everybody, if they haven't seen the previous video, our Stub Teaches Droop Golf.
The Rough Way.
The Rough
The
Way.
rough.
From the Bald Knobbers in Branson, Missouri.
Yes. Go see them.
Taking Flight. A Sexy Tale of 9/11. Funny and sexy story about 9/11.
Probably
Sexy.
a one-woman play.
Affexy.
And finally, a conversation with Ruth and family.
To just more on that theme of racism.
Yeah.
The lady whose husband designed that super racist Crazy Horse Mom.
And I think we could, with that one, review the bonus features too, if they're like home videos and like a conversation with the whole family.
One is a conversation. It's called 20 Minutes of Family Conversation with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 members of her family. We're going to take some mescaline and watch that.
All right.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, yeah. So let us know which of those three you want us to watch. And thank you for joining us for Coffee and Pie.
Thank you.
You've been wonderful.
Coffee and pie.
We need a theme song.
Hey, guys, come on.
You do.
Thank you.
Fuck!
Goodbye.
The
Well, that was
end.
good for me.